majority of them is that because this is a part of their presentation they have given to us. So that is only for, not for commercial use, not for, there is only for information to students that we have to pass on to students. What is India? India being an innovative society. So while India has always been an innovative society, much of the intellectual property or IP, mostly the short term is IP, created remains unprotected, both on account of lack of awareness and perception that IP protection is either not required or that process to obtain is unnecessary complete. This is actually Indian set of mind earlier, but nowadays it has totally changed. So earlier you don't have anything that so many things are there. Those have been very innovative. Maybe in your village you must be knowing some typical type of suits, typical type of containers, typical type of cookings. So these are things are some things can be patented or can be an act of patent. But mostly we don't know about that role. So that's why we are facing problem, or we don't know how to protect it. But being the 21st century belongs to the knowledge era and is driven by the knowledge economy. So mostly creative India, innovative India, make in India, digital India, skill India, startup India, smart cities, these has come out of this, because innovation is being a component of this most of the cases. Startup India is now making a huge response. So many students or so many entrepreneurs are coming and putting their patents. Okay. What is difference between property and intellectual property? Property is something like this, a house, a car, a bike, or any suitcase or something which belongs to you. Suppose you have a house, you have a car, so that is a property. So that is a definition that you have purchased it, or your father has purchased it, or maybe in your relative some have car, you are moving. So these are the properties. Okay, they have the property in their name. But what is intellectual property? Intellectual property is somewhat different than property. It is product of mind, something that is your brain. Okay. So it is in your brain, so that belongs to you only. And you may have some idea who you do, nobody has thought about that. So that is your property, that is your product of mind. So that's why there is a difference between intellectual property, and that's why the term is intellectual property or IP. Then how to this protect? Means what is the purpose? Mostly IP means the property which is created with intellect, such as inventions, books, paintings, songs, symbol, name, image, design, etc., etc. These are the some things can be IP or intellectual property. Mostly the inner inventions can be gone into patents. This is as per Cambridge Dictionary. If you don't patent your invention, other people may make all the profit out of it. So this is something related to your money. That's already told in the first slide, that it is being related with some profit. So if you are a business and if you have idea, but somebody has taken their idea, maybe talked with you, something this happens. You just talk with some of your friends, business partners, and you told these things can be done. Then, but he has taken and he has put a patent, and finally he got the he has a company, he got the rights, and he's making money. But you told, I have told this, but that you don't have any proof that that is your idea, because you have already shared, and that belongs to now he has patented. So this is what difference of making money or making profit or making a company or making business. It is one of the mostly the patents. Okay. So invention, something that has never been made out, that may be product, a process of creating something that has never been made before, that is process. So that can be both, can be product and process, that can be patented. Then legal, what is IPR? The legal rights conferred on such property called intellectual property right. That is legal. That's why legal right. Something, suppose you have your own land. So if somebody trying to capture it, so you have a legal rights. You have documents like your patta and this. All things are there. So you can file a case and you will own, because that is property. So here it is called intellectual property, that is based on your property of mind. So that is legal rights. And mostly IPR are protection granted to the creators of IP. Suppose you may be one person, maybe 2%, maybe a group of person, maybe having own company, maybe like faculty like us, maybe student like you. Anybody can have a patent filing. There is no issue of anyone, and there is no age bar, no educational qualification, nothing is required for filing a patent. Only thing, documents has to be properly made, and that should be mention your whatever things you want to write or what you want to show. What is the difference? Suppose something is there, you have modified that, you have to only show. An intellectual property protection mechanism is required to build an ecosystem where an innovator is rewarded for his creativity and his in turn brings his knowledge into public domain. So to let others take advantage of this knowledge to bring further technological advancement. That is also one of the major part. You have designed some model, some car, for example, and some may take, okay, this thing can possible. They can think about further modification. Like nowadays, each day the mobiles have been enhanced. So suppose Apple has filed a patent. So now Samsung is trying, okay, Apple has done this. So they are trying to make further advancement. They'll make a patent. Even a little enhancement of the property can be patented, and that becomes to Samsung. Similarly, Nokia can file a patent based on that it has got. So this how this technology advance goes, and they show this picture is added, and they go on adding, taking their money or selling their cells. Now, like fridge, refrigerator, some have earlier, if you know, the refrigerator are upper part is cooling, now it is bottom part cooling, and now this is a patented technology. So this company, so many companies, Hitachi and other companies, they are doing that, and they are producing, selling it money, and they are explaining how this lower cooling helps in better enhancement of cooling efficiency. So your items or vegetables remain very naturally, like natural condition. It will not damage. So this is what they try to explain. IPR or territory means place. So for protection of IP in your country, one has to seek protection separately under relevant law. Suppose you want to file a patent in India, but if you want to put it also in US, then you have to file separately. For UK, for Switzerland, in many countries have their own. But for that, you have to invest money. Suppose something you have a good idea or good technology that other countries may use. So you want to protect it from that country, then you have to spend money by protecting in other countries where you think there is a threat of being used in other countries other than India, where you have filed initially. For that, you have to again file the same thing to different countries, and for that you have to also spend money for that. So what are the IPRs? Types of IPR? Mostly copyright. What initially I have shown, that is copyright of this document. The part of the document is copyright of this patent office Calcutta, because we have taken from that. Okay. Biodiversity, GI, that is geographical identification, like Rasgulla, Odisha Rasgulla. There is a fight between Odisha government and Kolkata, West Bengal government. Then finally we got our Rasgulla, Odisha Rasgulla, and they got Bengal Rasgulla. So both are got the GI tags. Okay, so they have, but properties, the structure wise, the color wise slightly different. Theirs Rasgulla is slightly white, but our Rasgulla is little bit brownish color. And the preparation method is different. So that's why we both got the GI tag. Then plant variety, then trade secret. This is somewhat is a typical thing. Means like Coca-Cola. Example is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has its own trade secret, and mostly there is a typical. Suppose 3 of that company owners know the trade secret. They never fly in the same flight. They never take food from same restaurant at the same time, and they never drive in a car in the same time. So because something will happen, so all 3 will, if some mishap happens, this trade secret will go. Okay, so this is what trade secret. So maybe suppose one is traveling to other country, other 2 may not be traveling, okay, with the same flight. That is the case. That is their and that is between them only, okay, or their family members. Sometimes some spices they prepare, and that maintained by families. Then patent, which are talking about the trademarks, the design. So these are on semiconductor designs. These are also different parts of IPR. So depending in India, there are different offices dealing with different types of IPRs. So you have to apply for those offices for your particular thing. Then what is the forms, or what is the years of protection? So patent is protected for 20 years. Okay, so if anything you protect, but for that you have to pay money each year. You have to pay protection amount. So that depends on again industry, that will be higher, for individual that is less. But after 20 years there will be no right. But if you want to some modify something like this, pharmaceutical company do mostly what they do. They in the 19th year they will file another patent, and they'll just modify their what patent they filed earlier, and so that again they will continue another 20 years. So in that case they maintain that patent in their company itself, and they'll sell the medicines in the same name. So that they do mostly. But normally after 20 years it will open, so anybody can use the patent. There will be no legal case for anybody doing that, making that type of patents. Design, mostly for patterns and design creations, 10 plus 5 years this is can be done. For trademark, for use in trade, so this can come from 10 plus 10, it go on indefinitely, as long as some companies are 200 years. So they can also maintain that patents up to that one. Okay. Then geographical integration, that is mostly again 10 plus 10 plus 10, again renewed indefinitely. Copyright, so this is typical lifetime plus 60 years, means somebody has prepared a copyright, so his lifetime suppose is 80 years, then further 60 years will continue. Semiconductor, it is only for 10 years, that is the typical. Like a patent is 20 years, semiconductor is only for 10 years. Plant variety, mostly crops 15 years, trees and others 18 years. So this is typically, but mostly this is for by variety of plants sales, but again that requires your approval from biodiversity authority. That is one of the autonomous body that dealing with these plants. These are examples, these are patent on a machine. This is a copyright, like some film or something. This is design of Coca-Cola bottle. This is orange GI tag. This is trademark Apple. So somebody knows, if you see it is, you'll tell it is Apple trademark. Like Nokia, Samsung. So these are all trademarks. So that's why they continue indefinitely, because they, as long as the company is alive. In a simple TV, if you see, there is some patent, there's a trademark, there's a copyright of user manual, this is design. Okay, so these in a simple TV, Sony TV, so it can be so many things can be incorporated in a TV, having a patent that is for 20 years, design for 15 years, copyright maybe for so many years, and a trademark. Sony trademark is there. Then these are the offices which deals with this is central government office. So Kolkata, Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai, we fall under Kolkata office. So anything you have to file regarding our, so we have to apply for Kolkata office. Then there is design office also at Kolkata. Then head office registry, trademark registry is at head office Mumbai. Then Delhi, Kolkata, Patna are branch office. GI registry is having Chennai, copyright having Delhi, IIC design at Delhi, and I am other so office. These are the offices. If you can visit the website, you can go through it. Then what is a patent? So initially I have told you basic things. Now what regarding patent? So patent must be new, okay, and it should be non-obvious to a person who is skilled in a relevant field of technology, must be capable of industrial application. A patent is valid for 20 years starting from the date of filing the patent and cannot be extended. The same patent cannot be extended. This is the typical case. But if you modify this, normal this pharma company do what I told earlier. So they normally do in the 19th year, they'll modify that. Same patent they cannot in any way they cannot modify, but they'll what they do some they'll add some molecule, or they'll add some groups in that same compound, and they again file a patent on that. So naturally what happens, the original compound along with the addition, so both are they capture, okay, and they modify their compounds. So this is what they do. Then this is simple example. This is a torch for your understanding. This is cycle. Both are patented, but I have I have put manually the torch in a cycle. Suppose you are you just put in a wire, and while in a light in the night time you drive, you just switch on the light. But this combination cannot be patented. Why? Because both are two different functions. So you cannot file a patent where both require two operations. So what is done? So if this is a dynamo cycle, this can be patented, or this is already patented because there is a dynamo. So you only when you run, so that you can this can be patented. It can during night time. So you will just put that dynamo, then it will start. Or now the sensors are there during night time. Automatically now these bikes, they have sensors. No need to put on the light switch. They are already. This is one of the patent. So they have during night time there is sensors, light sensors. During night time automatically this light glows and no need to switch on or switch off. These are some success stories. Alva Edison was 1093 patents to his name. He's having this bulb, electrical system, motion picture, X-ray, so on. So he is having huge patents in his name. Another one of the Indian, he has 1325 patents, and he is the world's 7th best inventor for more patents than Thomas Edison. So he also owns a company, Micron, having 25,000 crore company. He makes these chips, and he is a electrical engineer, mostly from Delhi. Okay, he is one of our alumni, Mayank. He is a 2012-2016 IT. He is now in a very good company, SAP. He has 8 patents and 10 publications, but his patents are mostly on software, which is filed in US, because in India software patents are not allowed. So if you see I have shown some patents that is filed in US, not in India. Okay, so for software, US or Australia they allow, but in India till now software patents are not allowed. This is another simple example how makes money. So this is a opener. Most of you using this Coca-Cola can. Okay. So what this inventor licensed the system to Coca-Cola by 1/10 of a penny per can. Means in a per can, Coca-Cola will pay 1/10 penny. And during the period of validity, suppose it is maybe some 20 years something. So he has obtained this much of crores of rupees on royalty. In simply design, just opener. So this will just sealed one, and but when you just pull the ring, what will happen? This will open, and you can drink that Coke or whatever maybe the products they're using. So very simple design, but earlier there is no such design. So he has given the license to design to company. They have agreement. So number of pieces they sell, they will pay money for that. Then again, nowadays COVID due to pandemic. So so COVID, what Serum Institute during initial stage of development, they have told that they will not file a patent. Why? Because they want that because this is a pandemic, they want that this type of vaccines should be sold across the world, and only they will just share and they will be understanding, not that patent. So they will only produce. So this is what they have Serum Institute, which is the biggest manufacturer of vaccine in India and also in the world. So recently they are also trying to vaccine. They'll start vaccine of this AstraZeneca. They have manufactured. Okay, this is on final stage of your approval, which is not patentable. That's all. So discovery, scientific theory, mathematical model. This cannot be an artistic creation. Some artistic creation, some scheme, some rule, mental play, or some method of doing business, playing a game, computer program, presentation of information like I am presenting. This cannot be patented. Procedure for operation or humans and animal, these are all cannot be patented because by the rule of our patent office. So these cannot be patented. Now coming to like your young minds, so startup, there is a startup policy for patents. So mostly the objective of startup is the facilitating startup intellectual properties. Those are having young, they have some mind, so they can file patents. For them the fees are very less, and they'll fast processing of the patents. So this is one of the service the government of India is providing for startups. Earlier that is not there, so now it is providing. So who can apply? Defined by mean of entity incorporated in India with annual turnover not exceeding 25 crore. So it's a huge amount, but normally to start, maybe some company have maybe 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, so they can apply. So the upper limit is 25 crore. So they will under startup. All these companies having also 5 crore turnover, they can be a startup. So they want to have a file a patent. So they can be allowed to file a patent, and they can self-certify compliance with labor and environment laws, and also this Water Prevention and Control Act 1974. These are all their self-certification can be done, but for normal others, it is not possible for bigger companies. Intellectual property are emerging as strategic business tool for any business organization to enhance industrial competence. That is why it is required. Startups are with limited resources and manpower can sustain in this highly competitive world only through continuous growth and development. For this, it is equally crucial that they protect their IPs. That is an important thing is required for startups. So these are the startups of different patents filed in 2000 from 2016 to 19, 12,000. However, for startups in West Bengal, they have shown this is data from Patent Office, West Bengal Patent Office. So it is around 100. So out of this 12,000, 100 are startups. So these are some of the companies, very new companies. They are file a patent for their different uses. Okay. So for that only Indian ranking on Global Innovation Index, JI shoot from 81 to 52. So in 4 years, so many patents filed in India. So that's why the position still China and US, Germany, Japan, they are in top players. But still we are trying, we may be improving in each year. So this is what talk. So I am thankful to C.V. Raman Global University, MSRT, ICT, because they have given us this tag ambassador, which we have to pass the knowledge to students, and all the president and members of IIC CGU, all student members, Sukrit and other teams, which make this type of program successful. Okay, so reference are Indian Patent Office, you have taken Google image search, and NPTEL, I have taken some of the data. Okay, so thank you for kind attention. Any question or any confusion regarding, you can ask. If anyone having any queries, you can ask.
I request everyone to post their queries in the chat box. We will have a separate session at the end of this meeting to answer all the queries.
Yes, that can be okay, no problem. Okay.
So moving next, I would like to invite Dr. Manoj Kumar Gopaliya, Innovation and Design Ambassador, IIC CGU, to take over the presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sukri.
Thank you,
very
sir.
good evening to all of you. Let me share my screen with all of you first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your screen is visible, sir.
Okay. So let's start with this orientation session. I think Professor Mohapatra has rightly put the pace for this event. And he has talked about the protection of their intellectual property. Mine will be how to develop that property, that intellectual property. That's why my orientation will be on why innovation. So let's talk about that. So I will be talking about what is an innovation, why is innovation important, and what is the right mindset for innovation. And we can conclude that design thinking process, methods, and tools will help you in developing this right mindset for innovation. Okay, so let's start with the definition of that. What is innovation? So innovation word has taken from this Latin word called innova, which means to renew, and the essence is still holding. It means to renew something. Innovation means to improve or to replace something, for example, a process, a product, or a service. If we can go for a textbook definition of an innovation from an engineering perspective, then innovation is a process by which a domain, a product, or a service is renewed and brought up to date by applying new processes, introducing new techniques, or establishing successful ideas to create new value. Creation of value is the key for innovation. And for this value creation only, we go for our production. And IPR will come only when we have this innovation in place. We have created some new values to our products. Then question comes, why is innovation so important? So organizations have several options to increase their competitiveness. They can strive for price leadership, or they can develop a strategy for differentiation. But in both the case, whether for price leadership or for a strategy for differentiation, innovation is essential. So how innovation will help in that? Innovation increases your chances to react to the changes and discover new opportunities. Innovation can also help foster competitive advantage as it allows you to build better products and services for your customer. That is the reason why innovation is important. It allows you to build a better product and services for your customer to make you competitive in this business. So, what is the right mindset for innovation? Innovation requires more creativity and more willingness to take risks than implementation of a typical project. Okay, to successfully realize an innovation project, a different mindset is needed. Design thinking helps in developing this mindset. And what are the key traits of this mindset? Let's go through this in very interesting pictorial manner. The first is the break the rules. Your mind should be that what is the most important rule for a mindset of an innovator? We should break the rules. We should not follow the stereotype. Second is collect ideas everywhere. Don't drop any idea. Don't say no to any ideas. Collect ideas from anywhere you can. And then believe in the impossible. You should never say this is not possible. Always say yes. Everything is possible. Don't nail any idea. Say yes, it is possible. Uh, may I request all the participants to keep yourself in mode? Thank you. And then put together an innovative team of individuals with different perspective and thinking style. If you have this kind of mind, this is the right mindset for an innovation, for an innovator. And let's talk about design thinking for which will help you in developing this mindset. So, what is the comparison between a traditional thinking and a design thinking? So, traditional problem solving thinking goes like it is a more linear and structured approach for describing and solving an issue. It takes a set of data, work on them on the same data that come for a solution. In fact, it brings some question with vague answer. They answer something which we also know, which may not be able to answer everything. What if the concern recognized isn't the actual concern? This is the most crucial thing. We may I request all of you, please take care of your mics. Thank you. So, what happens in traditional thinking? We may be solving something which may not be the actual problem. We may be solving the symptoms. We are not solving the problem. And what if the stages can't lead to the correct solution? We are proposing a step. We don't know whether it will lead to the solution or not. So, this is the problem with traditional thinking. Then, what is the design thinking? The design thinking is a flexible. It is a flexible approach coming up with a customer tailored things. Okay, customer tailored thing solution. It is not having a structured way. It works on a continuous data input. It uses the designer's sensibility and method to match the people's need with which was technologically feasible and what is viable from a business point of view. And this converts into customer values and market opportunity. And this is the key why design thinking has an edge over traditional thinking. So if we can move further, traditional thinking say what is the right answer. Traditional thinkers talk more. They talk about data. They talk about events. They talk about fact. But a design thinker, they ask the right question. What is the right question? Whether why I'm answering is a query, and that's why they are very particular. Design thinker doesn't jump towards the solution because it may happen that we may be working on symptoms. So they ask the right question. Design thinker listen. Design thinker talk about stories, experience of a customer. Design thinker talk about the feelings of the end user. And what is a design thinking? So it is a human-centric approach to problem solving. Human-centric is the key here. Instead of starting with a problem, start the journey with observation, which helps to identify the context and the culture of a problem. Don't straight away solve the problem. Talk about the context and the culture of the problem and what people exactly need, rather than just the narrow idea of the problem. Don't straight away talk about if your client has come with a problem. Don't straight away work on that. Try to go within this problem and try to find the context of it and the culture of that problem. It helps to to get a deep understanding of consumers' unmet need and want. Sometimes your consumer doesn't know what he wants. Consumers' unmet need and wants. That is why it encourages innovative solution. Design thinkers always innovate because they go beyond the obvious, and it is much a mindset than a process. So design thinking is more like a mindset, and if you develop that mindset, innovation will follow. There are three lenses for human centric design. First, whether it is desirable or not, it is called desirability. Then, feasibility, whether it is feasible or not. And third, viability, whether it is viable or not. So, what do you mean by these three terms? Desirability means what do consumer desire? Whether whatever new changes I am proposing, whether it is desired by the end user or not. Feasibility, what is technically and organizationally feasible. I should not claim something which I may not be able to technically create. I may not be able to create the kind of technology I'm having in my hand, and or the kind of organization I'm working with. I may not be able to do it. That's why feasibility is very important. And third, very important, whether it is financially viable or not. Though it is desirable, yes, it is feasible also, but it brings the cost of your product so high that it may not be financially viable. There, all these three aspects has to be taken into account, and then only when we go through these three lenses, then only we talk about human centric design. So how we can prepare mind for a design thinking? Design thinking combines creativity with analytical thinking. I may not say creative thinkers are not analytical. They need to be analytical thinker also. But design thinking wants a combination of both. You should be creative and you should also be analytically strong. Key feature of both left and right side of your brain. One side, left side is creative, right side is analytical. So both the side of the brain should come together to propose a design thinking solution. The limiting human traits in the preparation of a mind. What are the challenges you may face when you have started preparing your mind for design thinking? You may face this problem of fear. You may face the problem of doubt. You may have a problem of anger, conflict, and ego. If you can go through this, if you can get rid of all these five factors, you will be able to create design thinking mindset. These are the five things which are creating an hindrance in preparing your mind for design thinking. Other challenges for design thinkers are to have faith on their solution without thinking about the limiting beliefs, appreciation, and vulnerability. You should not think of the belief of the others and market. If you have a believe on your solution, yes, I believe in my solution. That is required. If you don't search for an appreciation from the outside world, you want to take a risk, and if you also not what we can say, if you're not afraid of the vulnerability in the initial phase of launching of your product, if you do that, if you can overcome these challenges, you will become a great success. The design thinker want to get rid of your limiting belief, your thirst for appreciation, and your fear for vulnerability. You should get rid of all these things. What are the myths about design thinking? You may say that there are several myths goes for that, which is not true. I am here to clarify all this. First, it is only for creative mind, not at all. This is a myth. It is for any mindset. It is a narrow equation for aesthetic and craft. No, it is not like that. It is not a narrow equation between aesthetic and craft. It is just a brainstorming session. Straight away, not. Yes, brainstorming session is a very important design thinking part, but brainstorming alone will not be able to create a design thinking solution. Brainstorming is a very small part of a design thinking process, though it is important, but it is not alone a complete design thinking process. There are a lot of prerequisites to it, and it is not a one-day process. You will not sit one day and go for a design thinking solution. It may take days, weeks, sometimes months, and you will be surprised to know many design thinking solution goes for years, and then only they come with a very innovative solution. So this is a myth that it is a one-day brainstorming session. No, this is not design thinking. It is a process to replace analytical problem solving? No. I have already underlined the fact that we need to be analytically sound as well whenever we are proposing design thinking solution. So we are not replacing anything, we are just complementing it. Okay. And one last thing, that design thinking is a silver bullet for all the problems. No. Design thinking solution cannot be applied for all the problems. They are especially recommended for wicked problem where you don't have a clear yes or no answer to it, where the actual problem is still hidden beneath the layers. In that kind of critical problem only we recommend design thinking solutions. There are certain very straightaway problems where you need not to go for a design thinking solution for that. So it is also a myth that it is a silver bullet for all the types of problems. So what are the truth about design thinking? We talked about the myth, but what is the truth about design thinking? The truth is that design thinking complements all other problem solving techniques. You need not to drop any of your available skills. All you have to do is you have to develop that mindset of a design thinker, and this will complement all your other problem solving. Second truth is that design thinking helps organization to become more innovative. The moment people in your organization have this design thinking mindset, you will find that your organization become more innovative. And also, design thinking helps to solve human problem. It will not solve a problem of a machine; it will solve a problem of a human, because ultimately your solution will be used by the end user, which is a human. It also helps, design thinking also helps to increase consumer satisfaction. You will definitely find that if you apply design thinking to solve a problem, you will find that the end of the day, you will find that your consumer has started becoming more and more satisfied with your product. So, and also design thinking helps to gain a competitive advantage. If you slightly bring that kind of effect in your solution, you will find that you are getting an edge over your competitor. Okay, so what is the framework of a design thinking? Let's talk about that. Though it is a very exhaustive matter, and I'm going to have a 5-day workshop on it from 4th to 8th January. Many of you might be joining there as well, and I will be trying to make it live on the YouTube also. You may join there. But for the moment, I'm just giving you a brief overview of what is the framework of design thinking. So it starts with preparing the mind for it. What it means, it is a prerequisite for the design process. Your mind should be ready to go for this process. Then the first step is to emphasize, hear from all the stakeholders. This is what we see. We should hear from all the stakeholders. What do you mean by that? It means that you have to find out the findings for that. A problem statement should not be taken on a face value. You should go and talk to all the stakeholders, try to find out what is the layers within that problem, and this is the diverging stage. Second step is to define. Then you have to redefine the problem. The problem which came from the client side should not be your problem. Your problem should be from the findings which you have developed in the emphasize phase. When you interacted with all the stakeholders, we have a lot of divergent views, and from that findings you find out some insight to it, and from that insight you now will redefine the problem statement. So it is the insight from the learning of the finding. This is a converging stage. The emphasize is a diverging stage, and define is a converging stage. What do you do then? Then you go for an ideation, ideate. And what do you mean by ideate? Then you go for a brainstorming, which normally has a myth. Ideate or brainstorming is the third step of a design thinking process. Here now we talk about the solution for the newly redefined problem statement, which we have developed by going from the learning and going from the insight which we have developed from our findings. Okay, now with this new defined problem statement, now we again sit with the team and then we brainstorm on all the ideas. This is again a diverging step. And then after that, we go for a prototype and tell you a story thing. What we do here, again, we categorize all the ideas we got in a brainstorming process, then we converge on it. Then when after getting a lot of ideas in brainstorming session, then we categorize it, and then we talk about the few ideas for which we are going to work on, which we are going to develop a prototype on. This is again a converging stage. And the next step is validate, implement, and improve. The design thinker doesn't take the first solution as the final solution. What they do, because they have a lot of ideas with them, they validate the prototypes made, they get the feedback from their end user, by implementing it, and then they are ready to improve. And how they improve? They bring new insight to their findings, and from that new insight, they redefine the problem, and from this new redefinition of the problem, they again go for a brainstorming, and then they again re-improve their prototypes, and then this process follow till they get a satisfactory solution. That's why it is an iterative process. So emphasize, I will just drop this particular thing. There are a lot of ways to emphasize on. You have to talk about the primary, secondary, and tertiary stakeholders. There is the ethnographic research, there is a participatory research, there is an evaluative research. It will take whole months to talk about this. We'll just skip to that. There are a lot of ways to go for an emphasize. This is very comprehensive step, but the most important. This will decide the problem statement. This will, with these findings, we'll be able to get a new insight to it. So this particular stage has to be taken with full honesty. Then how will you develop the problem statement? So as an entrepreneur or a startup, this is my suggestion to all my young minds. Then whenever you are going to start a startup or an entrepreneurial venture and all, your problem statement should fit into this. Means how to support, assist or help by creating service or facility for the betterment of human experience. So how to support, you should be able to know how you'll be able to support or to assist or to help by creating a service or a facility for the betterment of human experience. If your problem statement answer this, then my recommendation would be go ahead and go for a startup. You will definitely going to see the light of the day. Okay. Then ideation, I told you, brainstorming session. The moment we have decided the problem statement, which is fitting into that particular framework, what is brainstorming? I will go in a very brief manner. I have already given one hour session on ideation where there are many more techniques. I will tell you, brainstorming is one of the various techniques which are available for ideation process. So what is brainstorming means? In brainstorming, you have to stay focused. Quantity is quality. Minimum 30 minutes to generate crazy ideas, and don't nail any idea. These are the thumb rule for brainstorming session. But just I want to underline one more fact that there are many more effective ideation processes available, which will also generate equally good and even sometimes surprisingly innovative solutions to it. Okay, so and also whenever you're working on either brainstorming or any other process, you should be in a mindset of building on somebody else's idea as well, because we are working as a team. We are working as a team of a design thinker which are having different perspective, and that is what the requirement of the design thinking. Okay, so now if you talk about prototype, this particular slide is quite important for all of you. If you can see it very carefully, see how can we create a just hold on, I will just go back to it. I just want to take the marker here. Yeah, thank you. So how will you go for it? Because in ideation process, whether you're going with a brainstorming session or any other way, you will get a bunch of ideas. And how will you get to the prototype? So first thing you should do, you should bucket the ideas. Bucketing of idea under three categories. How many of them is desirable? How many of them are viable? And how many of them are feasible? These are called bucketing. Then identify the intersection of the bucket. If you identify the intersection, if your idea is desirable and if your idea is feasible, then you can say they are usable ideas. Okay, and when your idea is feasible and if your idea is viable, then we can say these ideas are possible. And when your ideas are desirable and also they are viable, we can say these ideas are valuable. But if you have an intersection of all, if your idea is desirable, feasible, and viable also, then you will hit the jackpot. And that jackpot is called an innovation. So an innovative idea is not only desirable or feasible, it is valuable as well. And the moment we get an intersection of all these three, you will have an innovative solution. Okay? So an alternative way of expressing the design thinking framework is like this also. You can say there are three phases: hear, create, and deliver. In hearing phase, you have to emphasize, understand, define. You have to emphasize on, understand the insight, redefine the problem. And in creation, ideate, brainstorm, and then chalk out few of the very bright ideas for prototyping, and then deliver. And how will you do that? First, validate, implement, improve. The moment you improve, go back to the previous solution, work on it, and again come back for validation, implementation, and improvement. So that's why it is a series of action phases, but it is more a mindset than which runs the show. So design thinking framework will work only when you have a team of people which have the similar mindset, which is required as a prerequisite for any design thinker. Okay, so before I summarize, I just want to say that what are the design traits of a design thinker? And this is equally, we can say these are the design trait of an innovator. Many of my students will have this design trait, and if you have so, you should straight away think of becoming an employer rather than an employee. So design thinking treatment, you should be able to step into the shoes of the end user. You should emphasize that how, if I am the end user, how will I feel? So that is the thing. A design thinker will be able to step into the shoes of the end user. Design thinker have empathy for user as well as the stakeholders. We have empathy for both, not only for the user, also for the stakeholders. Design thinker like to challenge the status quo. We don't go with the obvious solution. We feel like a rebellion. Design thinkers always feel like a rebellion. Okay, and design thinker draw, sketch instead of typing and writing. Normally, if you say, if you have a design thinking mindset, you always try to write, draw a sketch, try to make people understand with the help of a drawing or a sketch. We believe in telling the story rather than giving them a written document or something which is like too insensitive. We always talk about telling the story the way we feel the solution to it. That's why we always believe in drawing and sketching. And also design thinker like to collaborate. Design thinker always want to work in a team. We like to collaborate in a multidisciplinary meeting instead of a silo work. We don't want to believe in working as an isolation. We don't believe, we work as a team where people have different perspective, different skill set, and this whole skill set will bring into an innovative solution. Because if you work on a single-minded way, you may not be able to get the innovative solution. We need various aspects, various dimension to the solution to make it an innovative solution. That's why design thinker always like to collaborate. And also design thinker able to see the bigger picture and think holistically. As a design thinker, you will not be able to straight away jump to this solution, whatever problem comes to mind. We just hold on, go back, think it as a holistic manner, think as a big picture, and then only we go for it. We always try to see the bigger picture, and we want to think holistically before proposing any solution. And also the design thinker generate many new ideas, and design thinker are not afraid of sharing it. We don't afraid of sharing it. Whenever we are sitting in a brainstorming session, we don't afraid that my ideas look like so silly in front of the group. Why should I say no? Design thinker doesn't have that hesitation. They always very eager to share their idea, how stupid it look like on the very first time, but they are always willing to share those ideas. And also design thinker find, reiterate alternative to this desired goal. Design thinker are always ready to reiterate. We are ready to get a feedback, improve on our own solution. We always ready to work on an alternative to, unless we reach the desired goal. And also design thinker is willing to fail but fail early. That is the reason why when you are going for an innovative journey, when you are looking for a startup or an entrepreneurs what way of thinking, only thing is that you should have a thinking of failing early, so that if you fail early, your stakes are not too high. You are getting the right feedback at the right time, so that you can improve upon your product, and the moment you launch it in the market, your stakes will not be too high to get fail. And that is why a design thinker or an innovator always willing to fail early and often. Okay, so this is my contact details. If anyone want to talk to me, I'm ready to work. I'm working as a certified innovation ambassador. I'm at present monitoring 3 innovative products from IIC side, not from the campus, from outside the campus. But I'm also very happy to guide any one of you in your innovative solution to see the day of light. Okay, with this, I will stop the sharing. Thank you, Sukrit. I thank the whole IIC for giving me this opportunity to share my views with this August gathering. Thank you so much, and have a nice day to all of you. I'm here to sort out any doubts which you are having at the end of this session. Thank you, Sukrit, and over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to now invite Mr. Amit Karmakar, sir, to please come up and present the meeting. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay. So just let me present. second. Yeah, is it visible?
Not yet, sir. Yes, yes, visible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think I will be able to give such a nice outfit lectures for this. So I'm weak at that. So let me talk to some people over here, right? So let me ask some people what are their hobbies. Is there anyone who would like to share their hobbies?
Wait, packing.
Anyone? Their hobbies or likings in which they can invest their everything.
Yes, sir.
So can you just come up with your video, or just you can speak up with your audio only?
Okay, sir. Drawing is my hobby, sir.
Okay. So anyone more? 1, 2, 3.
Sir,
Anyone
making
more?
science models.
Playing football
Science
and
one.
skating.
Playing for okay. Anything more? Anyone would like to speak out?
Cyclothon.
Cyclotron. Okay. So is
Sir,
the screen
designing.
visible? Yeah, designing. Anything more? Anyone more who would like to just spend their whole life doing their own hobbies? Anyone here? So, speaking up, why am I speaking all these things? Because, after some years, you will be doing some jobs in any other software or hardware companies, right? So, how would you feel if you are not having that time to do your own hobby? Would you feel great? Yeah, I want an interaction, right? I don't, I cannot, so I need an interactive session, right? So I need your feedbacks. So would you like to have such a life where you are not finding any time to do your hobbies, anything?
No, sir, never.
No?
No, sir.
Even if you go to a handsome sum of salary, you would be continuing it for some time, right? Like 10, 12 years. And then after that, how would you feel like? Would you feel like this?
Yes.
Exactly, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So what's the point in living then? Right? So don't you think you must live your passion? You must live your hobby as your jobby,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
But many one of us don't know how to do it, right?
Yes,
How
sir.
do you do it?
Yes, sir.
So if you are getting some, say, somewhere where you can be yourself and be and make all over whatever you want, that live your hobby, then it's the best thing, right? But in the earlier
Yes, sir.
days it was not possible. In today's world it is somewhat possible. Obviously there are some things which you have to you have to think out, right? So would you like to go through a journey whereby you might come up with some ideas to live your hobby as your jobby or your something that you just live? So I think I'll be speaking in Hindi plus English. That's known as English. Is it okay?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, sir. Yes.
So that's more appealing to Indians, right? So that's new language is called English. Hinglish,
English.
right? English. So let's start with something. So uh, तो तुम लोग ने बताया कि ऐसा कोई आर्ट या हॉबी समथिंग पैशन है जो तुम लोग करना चाहते हो लाइफ टाइम, राइट? नाउ वी मस्ट थिंक हाउ कैन वी मेक दिस सस्टेनेबल, दैट हम लोग वो करते ही जाए एंड वहीं से इनकम आते जाए. इज इट नॉट सो? That's the trick,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Money is the trick. Money is the hindrance, right? That's why you are facing that problem. So one such question is that how do I sustain it? Sustain means you need money, right? So money means how do I start that thing? So funds, productivity, side jobs, all these things, and the other responsibilities. बढ़ते हुए उम्र के साथ, what would people say? शर्मा जी की तो बेटा ने ये कर दिया, वो कर दिया, and all the social pressures, peer pressures. So how do I do, right? So this entrepreneurship is such a thing in which you can live your this hobby as your jobby. So is everyone ready to go through the journey now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So first of all, you must understand what difference is this from a regular business, right? What is entrepreneurship? What is this regular business? This regular business is mostly, it is basically fighting with someone, with your competitors, and there is basically no component of innovation is there, or very less amount of innovation, and there is no large funds taken from outside, right? It's just a regular family business model, shopping malls, etc. And then if you are getting some good income, then you can spend your life doing your hobbies like that. But entrepreneurship is basically innovation driven. There is almost no competition in that place, and it takes huge funding from outside, like this Ola, Uber, Oyo, how these came.
Something
They
new.
something new, something innovative and problem solving, and they took huge funds from outside, venture capitalists and all such, share markets, all the funds came from outside, right? So now, before becoming an entrepreneur, your mindset first becomes like an entrepreneur.
Yes, sir.
Should become like an entrepreneur. Now, what is the difference? Uh, this some you might be finding some people working in some organization. They would like speaks to say, okay, I am getting this much only, so why should I work more, right? Don't you meet people like this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The nature is there. If they're not giving more, they will never move any inch more in their life, right? So always try to give more than what you get. And with such mindset, whoever works, that employee becomes an asset to that organization. And he develops that skills and products to develop new products. He takes the risk associated with it, some amount of risk, not the everything risk. And then, but problem is that his income is dependent upon the organization for which he or she is working. And after you become a successful entrepreneur, you are now ready to go for an entrepreneurial journey. Only the difference thing is that you are generating your own salary and you are taking almost the same amount of risk, and you are the owner of the organization, right? This is the only difference, but almost the behavioral things are the same. So first, try to become an entrepreneur, try to give more than what you get in life. So then only you will find out all these things. So tell me some 3 conditions in which you start taking risks. So तुम लोग ऐसा कोई कंडीशन बताओ जब तुमने लाइफ में कभी रिस्क लिया है. ऐसा कभी हुआ है, कभी तुम रिस्क लिए हो? Has anyone taken risk in your lives? If so, when?
No, sir. No, sir.
Not taken any risk?
Yes, sir.
Taken, sir.
Yes, sir. Taken.
Would you try to take a risk for this? Suppose you are told that, okay, if you do this kind of risky thing, you will get a foldable mobile phone, which is worth rupees 1,25,000.
No, sir.
Would you take a risk?
No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
No,
Yes,
sir.
No, sir.
No,
Yes,
no,
sir.
some people are there who are going to take the risk, right?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Suppose you have to take a 100-kilometer bicycle journey if you want to win this phone, right? Some people are there who want to take the risk, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Especially
Yes, sir.
today
Yes, sir.
cyclotron. Yes. So see, something inside is driving you, right?
Yes,
Something inside is driving. You don't need some external motivations. Something else is driving you, right? So
Yes, sir.
greed is one of the things for which people try to test risks, right? One of the factors. Second is fear, especially students before exams. The whole of the month, the whole of the semester, no one studies, but within 1 week, you take on everything and you solve everything, right? Why?
Yes,
You have the
sir.
fear. पापा क्या कहेंगे? हाँ, अब क्या होगा? कौन बचाएगा? राइट?
Marks आएंगे.
कितने मार्क्स आएंगे? फियर. तो डर की वजह से हम लोग रिस्क ले लेते हैं, कुछ भी रिस्क ले लेते हैं, है ना? Then do you think of life and death? No. You just take the risk. Then you just take care of your mic. Some background noise is coming. या सो हम लोग कुछ भी रिस्क ले लेते हैं जब हम डरे हुए होते हैं, है ना? बट एक और these motivational factors which drives you from inside to out is somewhat temporarily, right? Don't you think so? After getting the phone, your risk taking will decrease, and after the exams you are completely relaxed, no need of studying for the next semester, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
these things are something like temporary, right? But there is one thing which is not situation dependent. It is just a sustainable internal driving force. You know that? What is that? Say for an example, those people who like to go for science gadgets, building on science gadgets. Do you remember this clip? Can anyone tell me where this clip is coming from?
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
First part.
Great. So everyone's favorite, right? So don't you think there is something like this within you that drives you continuously internally, right?
Yeah.
So that is something, a continuous motivational force for you. You don't need external motivation for that also, right? And that life you want to live. Now thing is that how do we fructify it as a sustainable thing? That we are not rich as Iron Man. We cannot afford such a luxury living, all the things, all such. There is something which is driving us back. So we have to overcome that. So I think everyone is ready now for the journey. So before that, just a matter of fact, what is invention and innovation? Are we good enough to invent something? Are we that great invent something and do miraculous things and go on to the market to sell it? I don't think we are all Thomas Alva editions, right? We cannot, we are not so much capable of inventing things. Ola, Uber, Oyo, have they invented something?
No, sir.
But what have they done?
Sir,
What
they
have they
solved
done?
the problem of people.
Yes, but they have integrated some existing technologies. They have integrated the GPS, the hotels, and some web structures. They have integrated some technologies, after which they have got some new solution, a new type. So this GPS itself is an invention, but with GPS and all those cell phones, smartphones, they've integrated to create these aggregating things. So that is called an innovation, not invention. So it is very easy for us to innovate things rather than inventing things. Invention takes many years, might be taking around 10, 20 years. But nowadays, with so much of inventions, we already have that ground. So we can integrate some existing technologies to create some innovations. So one question for you: is a bulb, electric bulb, an invention or innovation? Can anyone tell me?
Invention.
Invention, sir.
Invention.
Invention.
No.
Invention, sir.
It's an innovation. It's an innovation. Why? That this bulb is working on tungsten filament. So tungsten filament was so tungsten was a metal, right? It was not designed. This vacuum chamber, which is inside, that vacuum has been created by vacuum technology, which is an invention. So that person did not create this vacuum technology. So he used these existing factors to make a new product. That's called an innovation, right? So which type of people can go for entrepreneurship? Let's find out ourselves whether we are good at it or not. So you might be finding these types of people. Some I have categorized it as two, like highly innovative, not innovative, risk fearing, risk taking. Right now, what would you call a combination of such people? Like say not innovative and risk fearing. What would you call such people?
Number.
Huh? Something very close. Anything more? Not, they're never innovative, right? They're never innovative and they are always risk fearing. What do you call such people? Don't you find such people around you?
Dumb.
Boring.
Yeah. Yes. So I will come to this later. And there are some people who are not innovative but highly risk taking. Do you find some people like that? One example I would like to say that has everyone seen Jannat? Imran Hashmi, Jannat.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So he was not innovative, but he was very much risk taking. What do you call such people? Gambler?
Confident.
Gamblers, right? They are called gamblers. Gambling? Gamblers?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then there are highly innovative people, but they are risk bearing. What do you call such people?
Introvert.
Not introvert exactly. Just find out you people are also some type of this category only. Else you wouldn't have come to this session, right? So if some people are like highly innovative, but you fear risk. So what these people can be called as? Are these not people dreamers? जो लोग सपने देखते हैं.
वो रिस्क के बारे में नहीं सोचते.
Yes, sir.
हाँ. So these people are called dreamers, right? And what are these people who are highly innovative and risk-taking also?
Entrepreneur.
Perfect.
Yes, these are the people who are called as entrepreneurs. So the summary is this. So these people not innovative, risk-bearing is called stuck. Especially you would find people around you. So the percentage of people like this are very large. And then comes the Imran Hashmi, Jannat type of people who are straight away going for the risk without analyzing or not innovating anything. These are called gamblers, right? Then there are dreamers, which are basically scientists, right? And there are finally entrepreneurs, right? So what we can do from our side, we can only do this transformation. Dreamers can be transformed to entrepreneurs. Stuck people cannot be taken to this side. Gamblers might or might not be, depending upon some cases, but dreamers can obviously be transformed into entrepreneurs, right? Now, can you take risk just like that? No, right? So, what's the difference between this gambler and entrepreneur? Both are taking risks, right? But what is the difference?
So entrepreneur have a mindset.
See, gamblers don't calculate risks, right?
But
He
entrepreneur.
just takes it, right? He just takes it. That's called a gambling.
Gambling.
Just like that. So there is a big risk that he can fall down,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes,
So
sir.
especially don't listen to gamblers. Especially don't listen to the gamblers, right? They can take you to any such holes and then you will go out. So how to take risks then? Entrepreneur takes a calculated risk, right? So you have to calculate your risks. Then you can predict, right? If you say, okay, there is a 60% chance of success or there is 80% chance of success, then only go for taking that risk, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's something like just like a calculated risk. See, it is here a small mice who is trying to take this food and he is wearing a helmet also. In case it goes wrong, he will get his head saved. Okay? So we have to be like this. We have to calculate the risk and then take it. Don't take the risks unnecessarily. Calculate the risk and go for it, right? So entrepreneur takes the calculated risks and finally he succeeds. Most of the time succeeds, right? Nowadays, why people are succeeding nowadays? Because the Indian government is very much supporting to this infrastructure, right? So that is why entrepreneurs in India are basically succeeding. The success rate is high here, right? So this is a time where you people can go for entrepreneurship. This is the only time. Earlier it was not. So important quality. So important quality, one of it's very important. He knows how to start the process and he also knows to finish the process, which is called finitiative. So initiative and finitiative. You must have these two things. You must have the power to complete the thing, right? So what is red ocean and what is blue ocean strategy? Say if you tomorrow say you are trying to make a new type of what to say this toothbrush or toothpaste, would you think? Do you think that you will be able to sustain in the market, in the huge market of say Ayurvedic and Colgate, Close Up, Patanjali, any other type of thing? So would you able to sustain?
No, sir.
No, so your thing will eventually go down, right? So don't go for this. So that is called the eventually it's a red ocean strategy where there is too much of competition and basically everyone is trying to fight with each other, right? And then comes the blue ocean strategy. This geo thing. Don't you feel that it has taken over the entire Indian market almost overnight?
Yes.
And because of this, only India is surviving even in the corona stage, right? So what was that? It was an uncontested market of 4G space, right? The competition was irrelevant. Whether data and voice became free, all the other competitors died out, right? And there was create and capture new demand, break the all sorts of advantages came out. So you people have to design or direct your hobby towards making a service or say product in such a way that it actually has no competition in the market, or it has very little competition, and that too, the competition is outside India, right? Then it's a very advantageous thing. You will just win over. There will be no competitors, right? So I will be sharing some knowledge tips for those who wanting to become entrepreneurs in the coming years. So which option do you have in your lives? If can you do that thing without money, even if someone doesn't give you money, still can you go on doing that? Can you work on Sundays also?
Yes.
Can you work even though you are tired at even 3 a.m. at night? If someone tells you, okay, do this thing, are you that much passionate? You will just be doing that,
Yes, sir.
and you start doing it in your dreams also, right?
Yes, sir.
So specifically, if it is so, then only you can go for such a journey, right? Because at that time, you are just yourself and you are just awesome then. You will just be keep on going and you would treat this failure and success in the same way. So how to develop that sustainable business model? So there are 3 steps to it, right? All over whoever was thinking, waiting for that. So first of all, you identify a society's problem, right? Find out the society's problem, and then see using your passion how you can solve that problem, right? Someone was telling that he liked the thing scientific gadgets and toys, right? Can that person speak up again?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
if that person is going for say a hackathon on toy building, which was posted some days ago, and he can participate in that and he can solve that problem, because most of the toys are coming from outside India like China. So we want to stop our imports, right? So if that person is using his skills to identify this society's problem and solve it, he'll become a profitable sustainable solution for it. He can build his own company whereby he's making his own scientific toys and selling all over India through Flipkart, Amazon. Is it not so?
Yes, sir.
So that's the easy way. So he will keep on building new type of scientific toys and also make a sustainable, good income and good all name and fame for his family and entire thing. And he will also be living his. Is that not a beautiful solution for it?
Yes, sir.
Right? So try to identify a society's problem and solve it using your passion for that problem, right? So someone was telling about painting. So that painting guy can mix up with the scientific guy, a science toy guy, and they can make such type of painting which is having a type of lighting type of thing or science type of thing. So they can collaborate, right? So all these ideas they have to make it, and then you can go for a big type of business. So most of the toys you would find that it is coming from China, right? So the Indian government has taken a firm initiative that we will make these toys within India only, right? So you can go for that also. Anyways, there are other ways also. So that's a slide giving an idiot versus intelligent versus genius. You know what an idiot does? He keeps on doing what he doesn't like. As simple as that.
Yes, sir.
What does an intelligent person do? He does only what he likes to do. Right? And who is the genius? The genius puts his liking in whatever he does.
Nobody is genius.
Don't worry, you are in the journey. We are
Very
all in the
difficult.
So entrepreneurs have some inside to outside driving factor. Just find that factor for yourself. So I'll be sharing 3 sources of knowledge through which you people will be aware of. You know, don't you find this type of thing? This a pen which is dipped in water seems to be broken, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
is it true?
No.
No, sir.
So it's not true, right? It seems to be true, but it is not. So who gives you that knowledge that it is not true?
Science.
Not science. You have some. If you have something within a faculty, you have something that tells you that. So is the circles moving? And you
No,
observe it?
No, no, sir. No, sir.
But does it
They are
appear to?
moving, but seem
Yes,
appear
sir.
to.
It seems to appear true. So your eyes are getting fooled, right?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the knowledge to the senses can be fooled, right? And there is someone behind this senses who is telling you, okay, see, this is an illusion, right? They are not moving. So what is that thing called? That's called intellect, right?
Yes, sir.
Your intellect is telling, okay, no, you are getting fooled. This is not moving. The pen is not broken. The circles are not moving, right? So knowledge through intellect is much more of supreme quality than the knowledge through senses. Earlier, the people used to believe, okay, the sun is rising in the east and setting in the west, right? Everyone believed, but someone told, okay, no, it's that other way around, right? And then all sorts of things started happening. But today we know that that is the truth. So similarly, intellect knowledge is much more greater than senses, and similarly, this knowledge through intuition is much more greater than intellect, right? So in order to develop intuition, you know, why is it needed in entrepreneurial journey? You know, because in entrepreneurial journey, you have an unknown route. You have an unknown route. So that is why you have to have some amount of intuition within yourself that will decrease the risk factor, right? So how to develop this intuition? That is only through meditation. Nothing else can help it out, right? You have to meditate daily, and then this gray matter inside the brain increases, which solves that, which gives you that intuition power. It is a very proved scientific thing. You can go to the Google, internet, and find it out, right? And you should meditate, because if you don't meditate, most of the times the entrepreneurs are so much internally burnt out. Suppose tomorrow you build your own entrepreneur journey, you have a big business, then what will happen? You know, you will get stressed out because there are so many things to do and you are just running out of time. So there is some internal burnout. So some entrepreneurs go for substance abuse, right? I hope you know this, addictions and all those things. And then their entrepreneurial journey, which was scoring high up and then goes lower, right? So that is one such problem with developing entrepreneur. So these people should have some holistic means to replenish themselves, right? And then if this is a state of your mind, then you would be feeling something like this, and then only you'll be able to keep it running, right? So this is one of the needs. So our president, sir, he also practices all these things, which keeps him very cool and going, right? And then you have to think outside the box, which is also a gift of this processes. Then what are the problem solving areas after this corona? So, you know, after corona, this indoor air quality device, disinfecting rooms, money notes, PPE, UV, e-commerce, which is booming, autonomous electric vehicles, contactless payments, drone-based delivery, 3D holographic meetings, smart agriculture. This is a big field. 3D printing, artificial intelligence, portable healthcare, lithium ion alternatives. Why lithium ion alternatives? Do you know why?
No, sir.
Because
Cause
lithium
they are
lithium ion, yes.
cause they are hazardous for environment.
Not yet, not exactly. Every battery chemistry is hazardous, right? The lead acid also is hazardous. So because
They
this
are limited.
lithium ion comes from three mines which are specifically controlled by the Chinese, right? So if the Chinese are trying to rule, we have to find other alternatives also. So there is one such thing. Then there are petroleum alternatives also, right? So in your own type of departments, you can search for these types of things which can solve these types of problems. Of course, there are many others, but these are the some common things which you should work upon. Smart agriculture, 3D printing. Can you build a business out of 3D printing? Give me a idea to make a business out of 3D printing. Can you tell
We
such
can
thing?
3D print someone's. We can 3D print someone's face.
Yeah.
We can 3D
Yeah,
print
we can
someone's
print,
portrait.
say a new couples in the marriage. You are making their couple's face, and they are just buying it up, right? Or in someone's anniversary. So it's like a gift
Yeah,
shop, 3D cafe. So there is a shop in some
exactly.
Mumbai, or say that person. They are printing these faces on 3D, and they are selling it at a high price, and people do demand for it, right? So that's a business plan. Right. So that's the entrepreneurial journey. Right. Now, there are some tips to sell your products. You should determine whether your product is business to customer or business to business based, right? And you should know your target customers who are going to buy your products. You should talk to the influencers. Influencers means, say, YouTube peoples are much more influencers. Say, some influencers are having 5 billion viewers, 5 million followers, or say, and then you can contact them, sell your products, and then you can reach to more number of customers and reach out to the decision makers. Don't try to sell your products to someone who can have the financial deals for it. Talk to the perfect person, right? And some more tips, secret tips, which are no more secret now. So your customer should become lazy with your product. Don't you think so? This Google speaker is there, right? What are they doing? Google Assistant. Is their product not making you lazy?
Yes, sir. Is making.
Yes.
Yes.
So most of the products are making you lazy, right? So if your product can make your customer lazy, you have a demand for it, right? Then no product is 100% perfect. So don't get depressed. Your product might be 80% perfect, right? And then you should not get depressed. Okay, my product is not having these features. I might not go for it. I may fail in the market. Think about the Google speaker. It does not have an inbuilt battery. It does not have a inbuilt SIM card. Still, it is running in the market, right? So talk only your positive points. That's a part of sales. So improve your drawbacks at back end. Yes, keep on improving. Yes. So tomorrow you may be coming up with some sort of, say, this type of watch, right? Who is having a Google type of assistant within itself, right? And don't fall into the operation cycle. Find someone who can do your job. So if you're keeping on finding the accounts, no, don't fall into the operation cycle. Just find someone who can do that work for you. And then you move to the next stage and recognize every opportunity and fast. This agility and stability, like Paytm, I do remember that time where the demonetization was happening, demonetization.
Yes, sir.
Everyone remembers, right? There is not a single one. Who won? Which companies won in that?
Paytm.
Paytm is one such player who won at a big rate, right? You might be thinking that how? So they followed two rules: agility and stability, right? While they were agile, they tried to evolve fast, but they were also trying to keep the server stable. What would happen if they would have become agile but the servers failed, right? Then all the problem would become double. right? So
Yes, sir.
you have to be agile also, and you have to keep yourself stable also at the back ends, right? So all these things has to be taken care of, right? And this is one such very important point which you should remember, that there's criticality versus product market. If your product is less critical, say in the range of this side, which my cursor is pointing to, then it will have a very small market size. On the other hand, if your product is heavily critical, then also the market size will be very less. So your journey of entrepreneur will not be successful. Right? You have to find some part of criticality within this space which will give you the maximum market size. Are you getting it? See, like a Google speaker. So everyone is having a power bank, right? So Google smart speaker does not have an inside power. So its cost goes low, right? The criticality, even if it is somewhat critical, yet it has a market size, good amount of market size. But some type of innovations, if you do which are very critical, you would hardly find any good type of market size for it. And you have to keep on waiting for someone who would buy. So what are our roles? Our roles as an innovation ambassador is to give you an idea in selection, in prototyping the product, assuring that a product has enough market size, and filing your IPR, right? So funding opportunities are huge. These stock markets, this scam 1992,
Yes, sir.
after someone has at least seen that. So how do they get the gains? How do they get the gains? They invest in somewhere, right? And they invest in somewhere, and they're expecting that after that some money will come, right? So how the money will come? If it has productivity, right? So all the investments
They have
are
invested
done.
in a company, and the company will work on that money. And if company have profit, then they get some money from that.
Profit means what? Productivity, right? So it has to be productive, right? It has to be productive. So if you are productive, then you will obviously get the fundings, like Oyo, Ola. They are productive, right? That is why large scale investments came into it. And these are some of the funding agencies we are having in India. These are District Industry Center, MSMEs, Mudra Yojana, TBI we have in our own college, NABARD, angel investment, and venture capitalists. Angel investments, venture capitalists, they are very trustable to find, right? And you can fund yourself in Kickstarter also, right? So these are some of the sites. And if you have an idea, you can come to the TBI center also. So enough of knowledge. Let us go for a story time, right? Right? Stories.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let me have a story. So this is Sham, and this is Bolu, right? So let's see the story.
Your skin is not visible, sir.
Screen is not visible right now. Is it visible?
No.
So is it visible now? Right now?
No.
No, sir.
Amit, you just unshare and again share again.
Yes, yes, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It happens due to the internet problems.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
It's a
Yes.
Yeah. So is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So let's say it's
Yes, sir.
Sham and Bholu's time. So there was a village and it had water somewhat, but people had to come over to that place to to collect that water and go to their homes. So much of the time was spent in taking that water to that. So just think about, आजकल के घर में तुम नल खोलो पानी हाजिर, right? And now from tomorrow itself, if you have to go 2-3 kilometers to find water, what your life would be, right? So there was a village like this where people used to take water from that pond to their homes like this, right? So these two people came up with two ideas. So Bholu started selling these buckets, right? So he started selling these buckets, and he earned some money out of it, right? So please poke me if the screen goes invisible, right?
So screen is not visible to me.
Yes, sir. Visual.
Sir, it is visual, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
what do I?
It's visible.
Yeah. So please poke me if it is going invisible, right?
okay, sir.
So yeah. So can you see the photo here?
Yes,
That's
sir.
selling buckets.
Yes, sir.
So he started to sell buckets, right? And he started to earn some money, right? So he was very happy, right? But are these buckets going to get damaged? No. So his income after some years will also get stable, will also get stagnant, right? But on the other hand, Sham used another thing. He started implementing these DGs, and he started giving water to the people to their homes, directly to their homes, right?
Yes, sir.
And he also somewhat installed solar on it. So the entire electricity cost that was coming, that became completely free from him, completely free, right? So he stopped taking the electricity from the grid. And so just think about it. He started incoming more. He started earning more than Bholu, right? So what happened? People were happy. They got water just at their hand, and they started paying him around, say it was a running cost of 70 rupees per month or 10 rupees per month, whatever the rates were, right? And he lived a happy family. And most of all, his village became a very well established village with all such facilities. So just think about the future of these two people. Bholu actually tried to sell something which was not destructible, these buckets. So his income after some time becomes stagnant. But this income model of Sham was a running cost, right? And he developed his own. Yeah, please repeat.
Sir, your voice is moving.
Yeah, in the evening, the internet connection goes very poor, right? So we have to manage, no other options. So is my voice good enough now?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
it's
sir.
okay now.
Yes,
So I have
sir.
to speak a bit slowly, actually. The internet connections are slow in the evenings. Okay, so in the process, what happened? The entire village became wealthy. There were very good connections, pipeline connections. The electricity came also. There was solar supplies also. The entire village developed, right? So in the way, so this was the story time. So what was the difference between the two thinkings? Can you tell me what was the difference between the Bolu step and Sham step? Can
Sir,
anyone?
Bholu's idea was not scalable, but
Yes,
Shyam's idea was scalable.
perfect. And sustainable also, na?
Yes, sir. Sustainable also.
Sustainable. So you have to think on these factors. So that was the motive of the story, to give you the difference, right? So after some days, the Bholu's income will become very, very stagnant, and it will grow, but it will grow very slowly, right? But think about this: he has a running cost from all over the village. How much income would it? And also, it is automated now. The solar is free. The things are automated, and that's the journey. Right. So he'll be free enough to move to another such venture, right? Then let us have some case studies like Amul India. Their innovation factor was dry powdered milk. Right? No one ever was making this dry powdered milk. CSIR actually
Sir, it
made.
was not audible, sir.
Yeah. The net connections are poor at the evening. Is it okay now? So what? Is it
Okay,
okay?
sir.
Somewhat
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Geo's tower problem is coming. So Geo needs to innovate also. So Amul India, they had got this technology of dry powdered milk from CSIR. And then after, their name and fame grew all over the world. Then Oyo, hotel aggregators. The innovation factor was smartphone, GPS, hotel integration, affordability with cleanliness. Have you ever found out a hotel before Oyo which was as affordable and as clean as is now?
No, sir.
Nothing
No,
like
sir.
that, right? So Oyo has become the standard name. Ola, if you want to travel in Bhubaneswar, most of all go for Ola, right? Then Flipkart, think about it. Naukri.com, think about it. What are the innovation factors? Paytm, the servers of Paytm are very fast, right? So I hope everyone has gone through this film called Padman.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is Mr. Arunachalam. So he went on this journey. Based on him, this film was there. So what are the product features? It was costed lower than market. It is scalable. It gives employment. Is medium critical. So huge market size. Sustainable growth generates employment. So if you are a madman, dare to be that, right? So the door awaits for you. If you have any such queries, I'm giving you a Google form link. If anyone wants to go for these type of journeys, he's welcome. I'm sending you the Google form in the chat box. We can fill it up. We can contact him over here. So the chat box is here. Just look at the chat box. You'll find a Google form link. If you have such type of ideas within yourself that you think, yes, you can go with it, and it comes deep from within yourself, then we can integrate all together. You can have your own company set up at the TBI of our college, CGU, and then within 3 to 4 years, you can have your company started. We will all be there to make you stand and properly go in your journey, right? So there are many entrepreneurs also who has done these type of things. In our college also there are I think 2 or 3 are there, but right now we are pushing for it because the government is for the entrepreneurs now. So with this I come to an end. I thank all of them. I thank my colleagues also. And Sukrit, all over to you. You can open the platform for the questions.
Thank you very much, sir. As we can see, most of the queries have been answered by Gopaliya sir and Priyabrat sir.
Yeah.
None of them is unanswered. Everything is answered, sir.
Okay, so anyone having any question now can put up, else we can.
Sir,
Yes. Can you just
sir,
come up with the video also? Yeah, tell me. No need.
sir, if anyone want to become an entrepreneur, then he should मतलब कि सर कोई एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना चाह रहा है तो वो कुछ नया लाए जो अभी तक मार्केट में आया नहीं है, उसी टाइप का आदमी को सिर्फ एंटरप्रेन्योर कहा जाता है.
Not necessarily. Don't try to become an entrepreneur, right? Don't try to become an entrepreneur. You try to follow your passion and you become an entrepreneur by byproduct. Entrepreneurship is like a byproduct, right?
Right.
So you try to follow your passion. If you have an idea, come up with it. We will have a analysis of it. Then we can see how we can build a product out of it, and then we see the market size, and then you can go for the journey. So being an entrepreneur should not be your aim, right? It is a part of your journey. You become an entrepreneur, right? So you first focus on the idea, on the problem. First of all, the problem, which problem you want to solve. The more bigger the problem, the more better will be the market size, right?
Yes.
So if you feel comfortable, you can fill up the Google form and then contact us. We can analyze your idea, find its market size, and then you can think over it. If we think that the market size is a bit less, you can have some sort of innovative components within it, right? If you add some innovative components within it, the market size can grow eventually. Just think about the market of these type of those Bluetooth earphones which you are having.
Yes, sir.
Only around 5 to 6 years ago, there was no sorts of thing in the market, very limited. Nowadays, almost everyone has. Why? Because of the battery capacity or audio things, noise cancellations, every type of things. So that's the thing. So in short, you can just fill up the Google form for now, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, anyone more is welcome. Okay, I think many people are having some thoughts which they are not comfortable to contact over here. So they can fill up the Google form, then we can talk over there, right? So no need for exposing your ideas to the public. So Krit, you can see to it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You can please share the link to create their participation certificate in the meantime, because it is already 5:44 and it's a Sunday evening, so we should not take much time of our participants. So yeah, I think it is a high time to share that.
I request all the participants to please check the chat box. I have sent the feedback link in the chat box. You can click over that, fill the form, and you will receive the certificate, participation certificate, in your mail.
And I think we also thank Sukrit. You have wonderfully coordinated this whole event. A big thanks to you from all of us. And it was really a successful event. We could see a very happy participation from many of the students. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sukrit.
Yeah,
I
this
think
Sukrit has
you can
this
send
type of
Sukrit, give some time so that they can copy and paste, because those are attended,
Yes,
they
sir.
need to get a certificate. Okay. Those are attended this webinar, because I think so many have registered.
Yes, sir.
So, but maybe attended around at a time, maybe 70 or something have attended, or 70 or 80.
Yes, sir.
Maybe. So you just, those are present, better they should get the certificate, at least because they have given the time. And
Yes, sir.
they have, so don't send it by mail, so that all may get filled up. And okay,
So
that's
actually,
what.
it is an auto-generated certificate. So who will fill it here? They will receive the certificate.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So you just be, for some minute you should be on, so that they can fill it up.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Then after that you can close it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Manoj sir, I think we'll give some time. They'll complete the feedback, and then we'll close it. Manoj sir. Hello, I think Manoj sir is out of it.
yeah, Manoj sir is yeah, we can.
Okay, no problem. So you give some minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes of problem, because that is only one page form.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Sir, we are done.
Okay. So hardly takes maybe less than 1 minute to complete this. Those are present, please complete it, so that then because he will stop this receiving the link feedback. Okay.
I think Sukrit, we will take a call. We will put it open for next half an hour at most.
Half an hour, yes, maximum. That,
Okay.
not more
And
than
then
that.
we will close it. In the meantime, you should formally close this event by thanking all the people and all. You can do that.
Okay. Yeah.
I thank all the speakers, Priyabrat sir, Manoj sir, and Amit sir, for a very wonderful session. I also thank all the listeners for keeping patient for a very long time, as it is one of the longest webinar which we have conducted till now.
Yes.
And I wish
About 2 hours, nearly
everyone a
going
very
2 hours.
prosperous Happy New Year ahead. Thank you.
And thank you, Sukrit, for having us also on board.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
And it
Sukrit.
was a big success. Thanks to you.
Big success. Okay, I think we'll leave. So you maybe
Wish you happy New Year to all of you. Thank you, sir, and thank you everyone to be here. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Same here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Happy New Year, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we're leaving, right, Sukrit? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can stop the recording.